news station.
Moving on, after thinking there was no hope of relocating, an area business is picking up the pieces. Bear aware, above average temperatures make the backcountry a little more dangerous. And a heartfelt thank you to those who serve and their biggest supporters. Good evening and thanks for wrapping up your weekend with Montana's television network. Topping your news tonight at 10, a Kalispell man is dead after rolling his vehicle off of Highway 12 this morning near Avon. Montana Highway Patrol responded to the accident around 4:30 this morning. Troopers say the man was eastbound near mile marker 14 when he lost control of his car. The 41-year-old Kalispell man slid off the road, rolling several times. MHP says the man was not wearing his seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. Officials say speed and freezing rain conditions were a factor in the accident. Moisture settled in over north central Montana today. Let's head over to the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Claire, what's in store as we head into the work week?
Well, Jen, we'll have a bit of a break from all these rain showers, but you can see here on our radar screen that those rain showers we were seeing earlier in the day are moving now into the northeast corner of the state, but the mountains are getting lots of snow. Another interesting thing we are seeing right now is lots of wind. Most over the state, lots of wind there, 26 mile an hour in Cut Bank right now, but I'll have a complete look at your forecast of what you can expect for the rest of the work week. Back to you, Jen.
All right, thanks, Claire. Wind gusting throughout Big Sky Country is causing widespread power outages. We start tonight's Montana Minute in Bozeman. Northwestern Energy reports between 400 and 500 customers are without power in southwest Montana. 6 power poles have snapped in the Sourdough area from the high winds. Crews had to temporarily cease work this evening due to whiteout conditions. Power outages have been reported in Livingston, Pony, Ennis, and Dillon. Officials are hoping to have power restored this evening. Blackfoot Telecommunications Group Network has entered an agreement to acquire 2 companies. The company's CEO says the acquisition increases the size of the company by 25%. 6,000 new residential customers will come on board with the addition of the 2 businesses, which provide data and voice for thousands of homes and businesses. The 27th Annual Festival of Trees wrapped up Sunday after auctioning off 40 trees. Volunteers and sponsors work all year to prepare for the event, which is the main fundraiser for the Family Tree Center, an organization working to prevent child abuse and neglect. Organizers added a new tradition this year, a brunch among the trees. The sacrifices of men and women in uniform were honored today. Also recognize their families who support the Guardsmen through deployments. MTN's Evan Weberg takes us to the ceremony and introduces us to the people taking the front lines.
When a member of the Montana Army National Guard deploys overseas, it is not just the soldier who is making the sacrifice, but it is his or her family as well. And that is the reason behind the Freedom Salute.
The Americans you see before you, along with their families, represent the very best this nation has to offer and gladly sacrifice to maintain our freedom. With less than 2% of this nation's population having served or actively serving the country, they are truly guardians of freedom and the American way of life during a period of the longest conflict in American history.
7 soldiers and their families from 4 different Montana National Guard units were recognized Sunday. Of the 7 different soldiers and families, it's the Olson family who has made the sacrifice of deployment overseas 3 different times.
We don't do it for recognition, that's for sure. It's part of our life, and we just deal with it the way that we're supposed to, and as best as we can with the best attitude that we can.
So it's good to be here with family and to be able to spend time with them and have them recognized as well.
When he was at the Army, every time we would come home and go back.
Yeah, here recently, huh?
Just as Brandon Olson talks to his son, Kyvan, he knows he has made the right decision for his family, but hopes his children will see him as a good example, which slowly builds with more understanding of the situation.
It gives them an idea of what it means to sacrifice for the country, and hopefully give them something to build on and to look forward to maybe in their future.
At the Freedom Salute in Helena, I'm Evan Weberg, MTN News.
The Montana Army National Guard plans to recognize 12 more soldiers and their families. After a brief closure for maintenance, the Great Falls Maroney Natatorium Pool will reopen tomorrow with a few changes. Workers spent the last few weeks replacing the old boilers, which heat the pool and the building. The updates cost nearly $95,000, mostly paid by a community development block grant. Without the grant, pool officials say they would have to shut down after the old boilers went out.
They were 45 years old, and so not only were they in need of being replaced, but the new boilers will be very much energy efficient, which is great for the building.
Workers also freshened up the pool deck, bathrooms, and changing rooms with paint. You can check out all of the changes when the pool opens tomorrow at 6. After a fire destroyed 4 businesses, some of the store owners never thought it would be possible to rebuild. Now, a month later, they are picking up the pieces. MTN's Tara Grimes caught up with Falls Windows and Doors to see how they're moving on.
On this side here, I'm going to have 2 window towers that roll around. There's going to be 4 different windows displayed on that.
It may be a smaller showroom than he's used to, and it may not have anything in it now, but it's a new beginning for Falls Windows and Doors owner Raymond Rio.
My oldest son inspired me to never give up, so we just kept moving on and just getting the essentials that we needed.
Just a little more than a month ago, a fire ripped through Rio's 2-year business in Great Falls. The business he had hoped to one day pass on to his son, the business he wasn't sure he would be able to rebuild. But now, with the help of family and friends, he's on his way to picking up the pieces.
I had other clients call me up and tell me that I should not give up because of the work I've done for them and stuff. And so all that really kind of helped, you know. It was kind of emotional ups and downs, if I should not, but we're here, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep doing it.
The remnants and reminders of the fire are hard to escape, however. Attached to his business is a room where inside Rio stores what was salvaged from the fire.
Just pulled out, burned.
Almost all of it, he says, is completely useless.
Going back and recreating 2 years of business from where we were at, from nothing, trying to put everything on the files, the jobs complete, the invoices, the taxes, the receipts, payroll, W-2s, all that. That was the tough part.
But through it all, Rio says he's not looking back.
We're going to get all the walls painted.
And his dream to someday pass on the business to his son lives on.
He's going to definitely be an asset. You know, he's going to be good.
In Black Eagle, Tara Grimes, MTN News.
The new location is on Smelter Avenue in Black Eagle. Clients can reach him at the same number as before. Warmer weather is keeping the grizzly bear population active just south of the Canadian border. Montana Fish, Wildlife and Parks in Kalispell reports seeing more than half of the radio-collared bears active and out of their dens. Spokesman John Fraley says that unseasonably warm temperatures have led to a late-season search of food for grizzly and black bears, meaning outdoor explorers still need to be cautious in the backcountry.
Well, our grizzly bear management specialist, Tim Manley, flew this week and found 6 or 8 bears that were still out of their dens, and not that many bears that were in the den. So of the ones he saw, it's looking like the grizzly bears in general have not really entered the dens in a large extent yet.
Fraley says if you decide to take advantage of the warmer weather in the backcountry, you should still be carrying bear spray and never go alone. Thanks to a generous donor, the Great Falls Animal Shelter was able to clear out its inventory. People lined the front desk of the shelter on Tuesday and Wednesday looking to adopt one of the shelter's 60 cats and dogs for free. Along with the free adoption, the animals were also altered, vaccinated, city licensed, and tags for free of charge. Shelter volunteers say after the adoptions, they were truly cleaned out.
We were all saying, yes, it's possible, but you still had that little, we're just going to get as many out as we can. But to actually hit that goal, we're like, kind of astonished, really, and it just feels great that that many animals found a new home.
The free adoptions were made possible by an anonymous donor. Only 2 cats and 1 bunny were left after the event. Chet Rogers is back doing what he loves after thieves stole his tools 2 weeks ago. I checked in with Chet to see how he's doing after the community helped get him back in his shed.
I was kind of down in the dumps.
2 weeks ago, thieves broke into Chet Rogers' shed, stealing his equipment and his way of life. But now he is back to work with new tools and a new attitude.
I can smile.
His friend and fellow Mason took the lead in organizing funds to help purchase new equipment, knowing what it means for Chet to get back to doing what he loves.
There's a little bounce in his walk. It took all the bounce out of him. It took the color out of his cheeks, and it's all back.
As Chet learns the way of his new tools,
So we'll see what it does.
he shares the wealth of knowledge with his friend.
He's the mentor, and I'm the student.
Together, they're working to catch up on his to-do list after sitting at a standstill for nearly 2 weeks, unable to work.
Christmas coming, I make ornaments. I'll finish this clock.
For a man who gets his enjoyment out of helping others, he says it's strange to have the roles reversed.
This is the first time I was ever on the receiving end of it. I'm very humble.
While it will take months for Chet to figure out exactly what was stolen from him, it took the community just days to step up and help him continue what he does best.
There's a lot of bad people out and they do bad things, but there's a host of really good people out there too.
And for Chet, his wood creations are exactly what keep him going.
I'm so thankful that they have taken this interest in me.
Mike says there are still a couple of big purchase items, but thanks to the fellow Masons and the community members, he was able to get the necessities purchased and up and running very quickly. So it's nice to see he's back to work. I got to meet with him the first time right after everything was stolen, and he is so excited. I think he's a little kid in the candy store.
I love watching that. That was great.
So funny. It's so much fun. And luckily, it's a little warmer right now, so he's been able to catch up a little bit. It's not too cold out in that little shed.
It's not too cold at all. It's been fairly warm. It's still warm outside, but we can hear the wind right now hitting the studio. It's windy out there for most parts of the area. But here's a look at our breakdown for tomorrow. Winds are going to be sticking around 35 degrees tomorrow morning. Cloudy skies, 8 a.m., 36 degrees, warming up to 44 by 10 a.m. Partly sunny skies, windy conditions heading into tomorrow. We'll have a complete look at your forecast after